A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold statement that reverberated across the international stage, Russian President Vladimir Putin declared on Wednesday that Moscow would certainly achieve its objectives in the ongoing offensive in Ukraine. Speaking during a meeting with defense ministry officials in Moscow, Putin emphasized that the aims of what the Kremlin refers to as its special military operation would be met, stating unequivocally, "We would prefer to do this and eliminate the root causes of the conflict through diplomacy." However, he did not shy away from asserting that if the opposing country and its foreign supporters refused to engage in substantial discussions, Russia would resort to military means to seize the territories it claims as its own. This declaration comes amid a flurry of international diplomacy aimed at finding a resolution to the conflict, which has persisted for nearly 4 years. The situation is particularly tense as Ukraine recently reported progress in discussions regarding future security guarantees with envoys from the Trump administration in Berlin. Despite this progress, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky noted that significant differences remain regarding which territories Ukraine would need to concede to Russia. The initial proposal from Washington, drafted without input from Ukraine's European allies, suggested that Kyiv withdraw from its eastern Donetsk region and implied that the United States would de facto recognize the Donetsk, Crimea, and Lugansk regions as Russian. The specific details of the revised plan remain unclear as of now. Meanwhile, the Kremlin has expressed its anticipation for information from the United States regarding the outcomes of the Berlin talks. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov stated, "We expect that, as soon as they are ready, our American counterparts will inform us of the results of their work with the Ukrainians and the Europeans." In September 2022, Russia claimed to have officially annexed the Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Lugansk, and Kherson regions, despite not having full military control over all of them. Putin's assertive rhetoric was further amplified as he criticized European leaders, derogatorily referring to them as little pigs. He articulated that Russia would achieve its territorial goals in Ukraine, either through diplomatic channels or military force. He claimed that the previous U.S. administration had deliberately steered the situation towards an armed conflict, suggesting that Washington believed Russia could be weakened or destroyed quickly. Putin's comments come at a time when U.S. officials have indicated that earlier talks with Ukraine and Berlin have resolved about 90% of the most challenging issues. However, there are still major doubts regarding whether Putin is willing to compromise on his extensive demands. The Russian leader has consistently insisted that Kyiv must cede the remaining parts of the eastern Donbass region still under Ukrainian control, a demand that Ukraine has categorically rejected. Additionally, Moscow has called for strict limitations on Ukraine's military capabilities, a prohibition on Western troops on Ukrainian soil, and an end to Western military support. In a denial of any intentions to invade NATO territory, Putin claimed that the alliance has begun preparing for a potential military confrontation with Russia, looking ahead to 2030. In the midst of this geopolitical turmoil, university associations from the EU and the UK welcomed the UK's decision to rejoin the Erasmus Plus program, starting in 2027, viewing it as a significant step towards strengthening post-Brexit cooperation. The joint statement from Universities UK and the European University Association highlighted the transformative opportunities this decision would create for thousands of students and staff. EU and UK leaders are also grappling with the implications of the ongoing conflict, with discussions centered on using frozen Russian assets to bolster Ukraine's defense. German politician Friedrich Merz emphasized the importance of increasing pressure on Putin to engage in serious negotiations, asserting that the fate of European security is intricately linked to Ukraine's security. As the diplomatic landscape continues to shift, the world watches closely, awaiting the next moves from both Moscow and Kyiv. The stakes are high, and the outcome of these negotiations could have far-reaching consequences for the region and beyond. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.